While we were in the NICU for about a week, our kids completely took advantage of our babysitters. And because our babysitters were family, they were free. So instead of like punishing our kids, we had our kids work to pay them back. I want to show you. I drew like an example of like a baby soap. And then I just made little cuts down and I said, okay, every time you lied or backtalked or fought with your brother, those are all little rifts that you made in this relationship that's valuable. And what it does is it caused you to separate yourself from the authorities God placed in your life. You are responsible to repair relationships that you hurt. And so how can we create restoration with those that we wound? And the thing that I did too is I actually texted our babysitters. I literally got a full thing of what was good, what was bad. Because I also want to like acknowledge that my kids like are doing a great job, but I also want to correct the areas that are not so good. And the thing that was a little disappointing is I literally made like the exact day that we would have, even added some fun things like they can do shows or just fun stuff. And I made this like behavior chart, which we don't use in our house, but I felt like that might be a fun incentive for the boys, where if they do anything in the top 3, we take them to this super fun water park that's local. Anyways, but they ended up being basically in the parent follow-up. So those are the first things I did, was have that conversation with my son about repair. Texted the babysitters about, hey, where are areas that are issues that we need to work on? And then 3, I created this list with my husband of like how you can earn money. So you can sell toys, you can do chores. Cleaning my room was $5, pulling weeds, cleaning up dog poop, $5. Deep cleaning bathrooms was $2 a bathroom. Anyways, we had like a whole list of like ways that he can earn income so that we can pay back our babysitters. And the second thing I did was I charged like a mailing service. And so I have yet to mail these out, but I had my son sit down and write out basically an apology letter to his babysitters, which was so cute. He said, I'm sorry, I want to make things right with you. Will you forgive me for being disrespectful and lying? I want to make our friendship back and great, and I want to give you candy. I love you. Anyway, so I thought it was really sweet, like just being able, and obviously we didn't do this all in one day, you know, like this, I basically gave him, hey, you have 1 week to repair, to make up the money, to send out the letters. And what we ended up doing is when I had to go back to the NICU for the 5th day, instead of hiring out our family for babysitters, which he was used to, I hired out a babysitter from our church who is like really strict. And I texted him and I said, hey, have absolutely no mercy, like no second chances. I need you to be like super strict. And, you know, he's a teacher. And so he had like kind of the foundation of like behaviors. So I told my boys, I said, hey, you know, this babysitter is free to kids who behave, but kids who misbehave, he charges $10 an hour per kid. And so anyways, he walked out $20 richer because he was only here for 2 hours, and half the time they were acting out, and he sent them to bed at 5 p.m. And, you know, that was sad to get that report again. But when we came home, we were like, hey, you owe this babysitter $20. How are you going to repay him? And so just really like, you know, really allowing my kids to see like there are consequences to misbehaving. There are consequences to a relationship when you injure that relationship, and there needs to be a repair. Otherwise, like, babysitters get worn out and they don't want to babysit you guys again. And we rarely have babysitters. And so anyways, just teaching the values of like honoring authority, paying back consequences, or having consequences to pay back the sitters for the energy that they wasted. And then, you know, obviously spending time working through that structure of authority and really asking the Lord for wisdom. Like, how do we give our kids an honor for authority when we're not there? Because that has to be like a heart conviction. Anyway, so those are the things that I did. I'm gonna actually just show you my little list. Anyways, it was wonderful because it was kind of twofold. You know, like our house got to be deep clean first week postpartum, and our kids got to learn a really valuable lesson. And so if you're a mom that's like, well, my kids wouldn't do the chores or they wouldn't do that, I have a video for you of like how to get your kids to do chores and how to get them to actually love the chores and to complete the chores. And I'll post them right here below. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope to see y'all next time. Bye.